missing somebody. So we're missing some people. I'm really glad all of you are here. Okay. Throat chakra in physical practice, I think about more in terms of alignment than anything else. It's, again, the relationship between the head and the heart. So, I have a handout we'll look at later about healthy neck alignment. It's really about healthy neck alignment. Healthy spinal alignment in general, so the shoulders are up over the hips, and the crown is up over the tail, and the neck is, the chin is neutral. So you have this sense of space in the throat, that channel between the mind and the heart is clear. And there's just a slight downward tilt to the chin, which is especially cultivated when we're doing the ujjayi, that draws an inward reflection and a downward feeling gaze to the heart center. So it's indicative of the heart is the guiding intelligence that I'm paying attention to. And so throughout our physical practice, being aware of that alignment, the relationship between the head and the heart, being sensitive to whether I'm throwing my head back in an effort to open my heart. You'll see that a lot in different poses like triangle. People are like trying to open their chest. I know they're trying to open their chest, but they're trying to open their chest by throwing their head back instead of keeping the chin neutral and opening from the heart. It's subtle, but it's a dramatically different feeling. When you just throw your head back, you disconnect. Because we are embodied, the way we hold our bodies and use our bodies very much is a part of our experience of our life and ourself. And yoga is a subtle and also not so subtle changing of physical patterns that also help to change our mental, emotional awareness patterns, our belief systems, and how we move through life. And that's the beauty of it. So when we're giving in class, when we're giving physical cues, it's not just because we are rigid in a system of the relationship of the bones and muscles to each other and what muscles to activate and all that, but because there is a beautiful science, a beautiful energetic science behind the wisdom of the asanas and the alignment of the asanas that not only opens up the even flow, optimal flow of prana and the communication of the different pranic systems in the body, but also this alignment between body, mind, and heart. So that's what I'm going to be emphasizing in practice today, is the harmony of the neck. And we can never, when we're talking about the neck, we can never lose the awareness of this spreading of the collarbones, dropping of the shoulders down the back, and the head perching right on top of the spine. So we don't want a forward head. We don't. As soon as the rest of the spine deviates, of course the neck is going to deviate as part of it to compensate. Your head is very heavy, and your neck is the sort of more delicate part of the spinal vertebra. So if your head is off from center, the neck muscles have to start to engage. And the other important factor to understand in terms of the nervous system and in terms of the subtler prana is these two apertures in the back of the skull on either side of the spine, which are important marma points, and they're also important acupuncture points, and they're also important jinshin points, because important points are important points. It doesn't matter what system what slight variation of system that you've specialized in. Important points are important points, and they are the junctures between the brain and the rest of the body, the nervous system and the rest of the body.
And where are they exactly?
On either side of the skull.
So here?
On means of the spine at the base of the skull, where the juncture of the base of the skull and the top of the spine are on either side of the spine.
So here.
Yeah. In Jinshin Jitsu, it's Safety Energy Lock 4, and it's called the window. When your 4s close, you die. If your 4s are closed, you die. When somebody's in a coma, you can work on their 4s to help them either, if they're supposed to leave, or if they're supposed to come back, come back.
How many 4s are there? Just
2.
those 2. Okay.
Where are we?
Somebody's Mama Teller?
Right where yours.
Let's see it.
I think where it's, if your spine
Oh,
is
okay.
here,
Oh, I
your
see.
neck is right on either side of that. But it's on your skull. It's on your skull, right
On the
below your
base.
skull.
Juncture of the
Juncture.
base of the skull and the top of the spine.
On the inside of the spine.
Yeah.
You can feel them.
Well, especially when you know you're looking for it. There's lots of spots there, but yes, I think I can feel them. Because right underneath the skull.
They're also associated with the health of the eyes, and they're also associated with the liver energy. So when you're working on the liver, you're usually working on the 4s. And when you're working with the eyes, you're usually working on the 4s. It's when you keep the 4s open, you balance the ascending and the descending energy. It's the prana, it's the breath of life coming into the 4s. Pranic intelligence. So whenever you crunch your neck, and you see this happening with people practicing a lot. You take them into a backbench type situation. Head throws back. This look familiar?
Yes.
Yes.
You are compromising all of the cervical vertebrae. How many cervical vertebrae are there?
7?
7 cervical vertebrae. You are compromising all of them, but you're particularly, if you realize how vulnerable those 4s are, you're closing off the 4s. A terrible feeling. So even in a back, even when we think about an extension of the neck, it's really initiating from the heart. The neck is coming up out of the heart space, and even as you extend the front of the throat, you're extending the back of the neck as well. Everybody, I want to see everybody feel that. Extending the back of the neck as well. Keep the chin down a little bit. That's better, not that much. And stretch the throat without dropping the chin back quite so much. Think of keeping the back of the neck as long as the front. That's better. Now breathe into it. That's good. See. Feel. Go on.
I don't like sitting up straight, but
I'd like you to take a slight arch and keep the back of the neck long as you extend the front of the neck. So think of lifting the heart to look up. More lift of the heart, Michelle. Arch from the back of the heart, a little more, Vita. Start to lift up the sternum higher.